So today we're going to talk to some people about the fact that you have to commit a criminal act to either see your family, go to the shops in here, or see a doctor, which is a human right. But I'm down here at the border at the moment, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people celebrating a child's birthday party across a plastic barrier. Honestly, this is ridiculous. All right, I'll have another border crosser here in a moment, I believe. Yep. How are you, mate?
No, thanks.
You can't blame people for not wanting to talk because it is a criminal act having to come across the border that way. Unfortunately, the common Australian now is actually being treated like a criminal at every turn. These aren't terrorists climbing across the border. These are the elderly. 90% of the people I'm seeing cross this border are old. They don't need this crap in their lives. The hard border, or the plastic Lego border, is unfairly targeting the elderly in this community more than it is anybody else. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad. Wayne Crouch with the Australian National Review. Would you like to have a little bit of a talk?
No, it's all good, mate. Just have to call the police media relations.
No worries, mate. I've just been down here filming and watching people climbing across the border with illegal crossings pretty much all morning. Most of them are elderly people trying to get either over here to see their loved ones or to go to the doctors. How do you feel about that?
When you ask me a question, I can't comment on it. You have to call my boss.
All right, thanks for your time.
Bye.
One thing I will say is he could be standing down the other side there arresting people and harassing them for climbing across the border, which he's actually not doing, which is probably something that he could be commended for. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, mate.
I'm speaking with a gentleman here who's actually came here from a communist country, did you say, sir?
It used to be Yugoslavia, communist country 51 years ago. And now I'm facing this where I run away from it and really affect me badly. I don't want memories back. And Australia now was 50% that what I experienced there. There, as long as you don't say something wrong against the president, you're free to walk anyway. Here, I can't walk only, I live there 400 meters the Queensland side. My wife got an appointment Wednesday. She can't go to the hospital, New South Wales hospital. And I got shoulder problems, popping out very quick, very easy. If that happened to me, I have to go all the way to in the Brisbane or somewhere in the hospitals. And here it's only 1K to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad to put us, especially me, bring my memories back. I don't want it.
Oh, I can imagine. It must be terrifying for you.
Australia, people fought for this country. They put their body for it, for the freedom, for our freedom here. That's the rubbish in this army service people who they serve this country. That's not fair towards them.
Absolutely, my friend. Very well said.
Yeah,
thank you very much for your time. How are we today? Wayne Crouch with the Australian National Review. I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind. You feel like you've been treated fairly down here on the border?
No.
Are you happy with the way the premiers have handled this situation?
Is anyone?
No.
Oh, there is a couple, unfortunately, that believe we should be locked down just that little bit harder and that little bit further. Very far and few between, mind you, but there are one or two.
An old lady on a mobility scooter was just here trying to find a way to get through because her medication and scripts are in a pharmacy in Griffith Street. She had no way of accessing it, and then she tried to go through up there, and yeah, it's just wrong.
Yeah, it's unfair. What it's doing is it's making the elderly and people who are unwell that need to cross this border, it's turning them into criminals because they have to illegally cross the border.
It's just ridiculous.
Yes.
Do you think that's fair?
You feel like a criminal sometimes even when you're standing here and yet we're not doing anything wrong.
No, absolutely. I've been down here all morning talking to people, and quite honestly, I mean, the amount of fines that could have been handed down, no one's socially distancing, that's why there's no video camera here now, because fines for everybody, and I don't want to become part of the problem. I'm trying to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
But we had a Queensland police officer down here at the other side. He left once I got down there and he realised I had a camera running. Didn't want to speak to me, obviously, but he was actually acting like a decent human being. He could have been walking up and down here finding everybody. He was watching illegal border crossings like the 3 that have just happened over here now.
Yeah.
And he didn't bat an eyelid.
Well, it's just ridiculous. It's an inconvenience for no real purpose. Like, it's not stopping anyone from doing what they need to do. It's just...
And we have heard that quite a few of the police have actually been really helping people, have been helping us, things just happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I've witnessed that myself. Some of the police here have been absolutely amazing. Certainly not like the ones that have been shooting rubber bullets and gas at protesters.
Yeah, I don't think it was really necessary for them to bring the riot squad up from Sydney for how many people? 100 people at the border over the weekend. Don't think that was completely necessary, but...
No, police intimidation. They were actually pulling people over, this gentleman just told me over here, taking photos of their licence, saying if we find you inside that protest, we've actually already got your licence and you'll be chased up and arrested.
Yeah, yeah.
Police intimidation is just rife.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, what can we do?
Well, what you can do, my friend, is you can vote. And we need to get rid of these people. They have to get out of power. Otherwise, this is never going to get wound up.
Yeah.
We're basically living underneath the arm of the Chinese Communist Party here.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Now, I was talking to a gentleman earlier from Yugoslavia. He escaped that country because he wanted to get away from communism. He said he was 50% freer there than what he is here now today. He said, as long as I didn't say anything bad about the president over there, they let you walk around, you were free. He said, here I've got no freedoms at all.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
Anyway, look, we're happy to talk to you, but...
Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy your afternoon.
Family time, thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. I hope it gets better soon, eh?
No worries.
How are you, guys? Just recording audio, not video, because everybody here would be arrested under the stupid laws that this country is forcing us to live under.
That's true.
I mean, you guys are, I don't give a shit, but you're less than 1.5 metres apart, contacting each other, not wearing masks. Does it feel good in this country to know that you can get arrested and charged for that?
No, it doesn't feel good.
Are you proud of this country?
No.
Were you proud of this country?
Yes.
You got a message for the Prime Minister and the premiers that are causing this problem?
I think that it should stop being political, and I think that they should create a border bubble, because they are killing businesses, single-handedly killing businesses. On this literally 1 minute walk on this side of the border, everyone is free to party and have fun and do whatever they want. And I thought we were a joined community. And on the other side, we're doing nothing. We can't do anything, we're locked up. Doesn't make sense.
Well, it's all about control and subjugation, to be quite honest.
Very true.
Because they know that they're going to divide the country right down the middle with vaccinated and unvaccinated people. Are you happy to show the bloody paperwork every time you walk into a shop now to go and get a feed?
Yeah, like the same in France. You can't go to the supermarket without a vaccination. Yeah.
Nothing's going to separate this country more than that. If you take out the word vaccinated and unvaccinated and replace unvaccinated with the word Jew, doesn't look very good for our country.
No, it doesn't at all.
And there's little privileges now for the vaccinated. They can go outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unvaccinated can't. So
I'm not going to ask you if you've been vaccinated, because it's actually illegal for anybody to do that, and they should never have been asking anybody about their vaccination status, much less forcing it onto anybody.
human rights.
Are you happy that they can ask you whatever they like about your vaccination status now?
No.
Oh, God, no. No, not at all.
Pathway to getting kids back into school, the Premier said, is probably going to involve jabbing all the children, otherwise they won't be going back. Do you think that's satisfactory?
No.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
I
not
think
at all.
they should have a choice. I think when it's forced upon you, you're more scared to do it.
Oh yes, most definitely. You have to have full autonomy over your entire body, otherwise you're a slave.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Thank you very much for your time, guys, and your thoughts.
That's okay.
I hope to Christ you can get back to living a normal life pretty soon, huh?
I hope so too.
Yep.
Take care, guys.
Yes, you too.
How are you, mate? Would you like to have a few words about what this is doing for your business?
It's killing us. Not really.
Not really? Do you think it's fair the way we've been treated down here in Australia at the moment?
Nah.
Are you happy with the way the Prime Minister's handled this crisis in any way?
Mate, the trucks had logs stopped on the highway this morning. You see it on the news,
Yep.
and like,
Over the next couple of days, they're threatening to close down the entire country, the trucks, the bikies.
yeah.
To be quite honest, I hope they do it at this point. I want my freedom back.
Because we got work in New South Wales, but the shop owners in like that own dress shops or whatever, they're shut. They can't earn any money.
Yeah, oh, it's absolutely destroyed small business.
Yeah, and like how they all like come back?
I don't think they do. That's the whole idea, mate. They want everybody sitting at home on a universal income.
Yeah, that's madness. And they're giving people $750 a week.
Yeah.
Like in New South Wales.
Yeah. No, they paid people to lose their jobs and to destroy business.
But yeah, no, it's killing everyone, man.
Are you concerned that this is going to end up destroying your business completely?
Yeah. Yeah. I've got to start collecting 10 cents. 10-cent cans.
You hear that, Australia? Another local businessman that's actually having to deal with Coke cans to get his bloody money back in his pocket.
That's madness. And like handing stuff over the border like this, it's stupid.
Yeah, I've been witnessing human smuggling all morning across the border and businesses passing equipment, and it's just ridiculous.
That's crazy. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
I've had no problems myself. I'm a veteran, and I've had no problems. I live in the border, but I mean, I just stay in Queensland. But I still think they should open up the bubble and let the New South Wales people come across that have to work and whatever else, but have a jab. Get your 2 jabs or your 1 jab. I don't want them coming across when they're not jabbed, because they can infect my family. That's the only thing I've got to say. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah. So what about the fact that they've just brought in a whole heap of people from Afghanistan that would have been not checked, probably not tested, no injections in them, and just let them...
Well, that's unfortunate what's happening in Afghanistan. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for them with the Taliban. I feel sorry for them, but that's unfortunate. We've got to get them somehow. And
no, I understand they need to be looked after, but I think when we're all under quarantine conditions and lockdown, it was
I know, it's hard,
pretty ridiculous just to let them loose in the country.
Yeah, we shouldn't do that, but yeah. Where else do they bring? Where do they bring them? Where do they put them? Up in Darwin?
I think the best thing would have probably been not to have gone to their country in the first place and laid waste to the place and then left them there to defend themselves after we've finished.
Yeah, but then you end up with too many deaths and everything else, and that's going to be terrible. A massacre or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at them the other day. I think it was the Americans saved a bombing from another one. They saved one, see? So, yeah. But who did they... Yeah. They should never have left there.
No, absolutely.
Should have had some soldiers over there to just protect, even Aussies.
So they should have left somebody behind to make sure that everyone got out safely. Is that what you're saying?
I agree with you, yep. They should have left people behind.
Absolutely. That's words of wisdom.
And that's when it all... Yeah. So...
Sorry to interrupt, ladies. My name's Wayne with the Australian National Review. You wouldn't like to say a few words to the Australian people?
Oh, no, thank you.
How do you feel like you've been treated down here on the border? You feel like you've been treated pretty well?
You can't do much about it, can you really?
No, unfortunately we can't, but what we can do is we can tell the rest of the country so that they actually know what's going on down here to people's lives and businesses.
Yeah, I'd probably pass. But thank you, sorry. I know there's probably lots of people that want to share. Yeah.
No, oh, look, honestly, the amount of angry people I've had to cut away, but
We're not angry people.
no, oh, it's good. We're not angry people, and I think that's half the problem. This is why it's dragged on so long, because people aren't getting angry enough.
Yeah.
Maybe go talk to those guys.
Yeah, I've actually just been down and talked to those guys. I'm just trying to get absolutely everybody's point of view. If you're not angry, if you're quite happy with this lockdown, you want it to lock down further, more than happy to hear your views on that too. Oh, don't you worry, people do. Spoke to a lady yesterday. She said, no, I think it should be locked down further. It should have been done earlier. It should have all been... I was like, wow, okay. But look, everyone's open to their own point of view, and their own, like, I respect everybody's point of view.
Yeah.
But I really don't think we need to lock it down any further.
Yeah, no, we're just going with the flow. Like, it's, I suppose we're teachers, so we're just doing the online learning and seeing how it goes. And
So how do you feel about the pathway to actually getting back to school as a teacher to be injected?
yeah, we just got told that today. Yeah, so I've got my I've got one vaccination and I've got another one booked in. And you're the same. You've got your vaccination.
This is before
we
being
knew.
told we had to, so we chose to anyway.
Yeah, but we, like, I don't know, we can see both sides of when people get worried about it,
I do believe you need to have full autonomy over your body, otherwise you really don't own anything. You're a slave.
Yeah, I agree. And so I think we feel okay because it was our choice, but I think it should be a choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably our... we just got the...
And what about the
confirmation
children?
of
Do you think the pathway to get the children back in there should involve forced injection as well? Because I'll tell you now, I've spoken with easily 100 families in the last 2 weeks. None of them are sending their children back to school at all. They'd rather keep their children at home than be forced to do anything.
Yeah, wow, there you go. I know it's hard. It's a hard call. Like, I think, parents should have the right to do whatever is best for their children, and I don't know how to make those decisions. Yeah.
So it's always the case that it's the people who tell me that they really don't have anything to say or really don't want to say anything that end up saying the most profound things.
Yeah. I'm brain fried after a whole day of online learning, so...
Oh, I can imagine. So how's that going for you? I mean, do you think that the children are actually learning okay?
Well, look, the way our school's doing it is different to a lot of other schools. So we're doing daily videos and daily plans for the kids.
Oh,
so
awesome.
We're trying to keep it as much as similar as what it would be like at school. So I think they're doing well. Like, we have Zooms with them and see their faces, and look, I think they're going okay. I think they just miss their friends. I think that's the biggest part, is missing their friends. It's never as as good as what it would be in the classroom. You always feel like you can reach out to kids when you're in the classroom with them. You can help them. When it's online, through a screen, so you can't always help those little ones that need it the most.
Absolutely.
So, we just do what we can and hopefully get back as soon as we can.
So you're worried that some of these children are going to start falling through the cracks without actually having a teacher there to stand next to them and talk to them?
Well, look, I think without the schools, our school is open to children that are vulnerable. So if those ones that are falling through the cracks, they come to school. So I think it's important that the school recognises if there are children that could fall through.
So the school actually takes care of children with learning difficulties and has got them back in the school?
Yes.
That's absolutely wonderful, so I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, so that's the one thing, that it's open to children that are vulnerable and children of essential workers. So they're the two things that they can come to school for.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, Is that enough?
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. I know you were quite a little bit hesitant, but I'm sure that the Australian people will appreciate that.
Yeah, no
Thank you
worries.
very much.
That's all right. Have a good afternoon.
Well, there we have it, people. A couple of lovely teachers. They just want to get their kids back into the school. But they are actually looking after the vulnerable children and the children that belong to families of essential workers. So maybe not all is lost in the school system quite yet. Do you feel like the Prime Minister's handled this crisis properly in any way, shape or form?
Well, I think it's the states that have got a lot to blame. They're the ones who are being political players. And
that was my next question. Do you think the premiers have actually done any good at all?
No, I think they're using this to, put a platform for themselves for re-election, and they don't care if they do get re-elected or not, because they get out here and get a big gravy train pay ticket.
Absolutely.
They care about the rest of us.
So has this affected business for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's affected everyone. Whether you're a tenant, a landlord, a business person that can't work, a person that has to stay at home and homeschool their children, it affects everyone.
How do you feel about the fact that when the children go back to school, injecting them might actually be the only pathway to getting them there?
Ask me that in 5 years' time, mate. I can't answer that question now.
Yeah, 95% of the families that I speak to have just decided they're going to pull their children out of school completely. I've spoken to probably about 100 families in the last week, and most of them had multiple children, so that's hundreds of children that aren't going to be going back into the school system.
Well, until I see legislation, it's hard to really comment on that, isn't it?
I know for a fact that they're in talks about it at the moment, and the premiers are trying to find a way to force that down your neck before the kids go back.
Well, that's going to take a long time. Then they won't be going back to school this year if that's the case, will they? Because they won't logistically be able to do it.
No.
So, I guess it's just every day, take each day if it comes. At the moment, it's just making up bloody legislation on the fly and rules on the fly. And
Yeah, at the moment we're living under mandates because most of it isn't in law. It's all just fresh mandates. Every day they make a new mandate.
It all comes around press officers and all these stupid consultants that are in their ears about what they can do to get re-elected and what the public perception of them is. Oh, I'm keeping Queenslanders safe.
Yeah, it's very hard when most
Why did we have a border before that was down to Pottsville and we're young and now we don't? And we don't have any cases in the tweet. It's not practical. You'd worked perfectly well last time and everyone, followed the law, and now all of a sudden it's deemed to be not suitable.
Yep. I think you're going to find it's because of the protest actions. The lockdown's got absolutely nothing to do with this virus whatsoever. It's just to stop people from getting out in the streets and actually protesting. As they set a date and they move it forward, they move the lockdown forward as well.
No, well, protest hasn't done shit, and the coppers stopped everyone from getting up to the protest yesterday, so...
Yeah, we were here on the ground yesterday to film that, and it just didn't happen, unfortunately, because they had so many police here to intimidate the Australians.
No, it wasn't that. It was because they had them all down at the roads from down south, stopping them all, stopping everyone on the highway coming here, taking a picture of their licence, saying, if you come and protest here, and you're seen here, we've got a picture of you, if you're seen, you'll be fined. And turning them around. So that's what
police
happened.
Intimidation.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you feel you're going with homeschooling? Are you dealing with it okay? I understand, mate. I know all the kids just want to get back to school and be around their friends.
Yeah, they just want to run around and have fun.
Like we did when the country was free.
Yes. It stopped being free a long time ago, mate, I tell you. Come on, let's go.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, sir.
No worries. Cheers.
Tell Australia how the media is treating this place and how it's making people feel.
The media is sensationalising everything that's going on. So they need to calm down and let things work out and get the government talking and the premiers talking together so that the border bubble restores and there'll be no more protests, no more anything.
People will go home and they'll just settle down
once
their rights have been returned to them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all right. And I'm glad you're doing okay. That's good.
Oh, I'm just glad that there's still people here that can work. All right, it's like I said the other day. People are absolutely over the media. They come down here, they treat the place like a friggin' zoo. Do you feel like the Prime Minister and the Premiers have actually handled this crisis with any decency?
Not one single slither.
Not one single slither.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people down here that feel the same way.
Mate, I was born and raised in this town. I've lived here my whole life. I run a small business with my brother. We employ 2 people. One of them lives on that side of the border. We've put our heart and soul into building up a business that has cost us everything. And now we're literally staring down the barrel of losing everything at no fault of our very own. I can't even begin to feel for half the people that have businesses in these streets here, and to people be told that they can go and live on $750 a week, that's not going to cover any of our bills, mate.
No, absolutely. There's your rent if you're lucky, and
if
then
you're lucky,
done. What about food?
Yeah. What about food? What about my kids? What about my family? What are we supposed to do? The other thing, like I said, I've lived in this town my whole life. This has just been my town. This hasn't been New South Wales, Queensland. That's not what it's like for any of these people here. You know what I mean?
That's exactly why I'm down here at the moment, because what's this done to the 2 states?
It's divided people. It's divided people from New South Wales, Queensland. It's divided people for wearing masks and fucking whatever they think. You know what I mean? I copped a $500 fine yesterday. Me and my brother.
You're not going to pay that fine, are you?
I'm not. I'm going to take it to court. Me and my brother were both in between jobs. We stopped for lunch. We were out of the car for 5 minutes. There's never been any cases down here. Same thing. It wasn't You know, like I'm not a person that goes against the grain just for the sake of going against the grain, but I'm also like someone that doesn't want to be told what to do when I know that I have my own rights and I can make my own free choices, you know what I mean?
So you're not going to let them strip your rights away from you?
No way. No way.
And that's what we need in this country, is we need people to actually know that they do have rights and to stand up for the rights they've got left, otherwise they're all going to get taken.
100%.
So how would you feel about the pathway to school, to getting your kids back into school, involving injecting your children?
Well, yeah, I don't think anyone should be injected unless they want to be. You know, there's plenty of people out there that can make a choice. If you want to get vaccinated, if you want to do whatever you want to do, that's completely up to you. But I should be able to have my own view. If I don't want to get vaccinated, or if I want to do anything else, I should be able to do that. And whoever is on the other side should have the same view I do. Do what you want.
Freedom of choice. It's your body, and if you don't have full autonomy over yourself, you're a slave.
Exactly right. No. Mate, I can't say any more. I'll have to leave you with it because I've got my lift.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for your time, sir, and
What
I hope
channel
they do
you on,
something
mate?
about this. My name's Wayne. I work for the Australian National Review. If you go to australiannationalreview.com, we're slowly taking the media back, mate.
Beautiful. Love to hear it. All right, mate.
Beautiful. Take care, guys.
Hey, how come that I've had 2 needles, how come we have to wait for 80%? Why isn't it as soon as you've had your 2 needles, just get on with it? That's it. No more lockdown for yous.
That's a very good question for the premiers. They said that once you've got your jab, you'd be able to go back out and be free again, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And what's happening? We're not free, are we? We've still got to wait 80%. That's months and months away. That's bullshit. You know, I've got a missus lives across the road there. I'm dodging the police to get across to go see her. It's bullshit. She's fully vaccinated, I'm fully vaccinated. Why can't we see each other?
Yeah.
Why is this? It's just utter bullshit.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Nah, I've had 2 needles. I should be able to just get on with my life, and that's it. None of this lockdown shit or anything, you know. If you haven't had your needles, stay home.
The worst problem is, when I actually had a good look into it, it says their definition of a fully vaxxed person is someone who's had a series of 2 or more shots within a period of 3 months. So does that mean within 3 months they can decide now that you need to go back for a booster, or you get to join the unvaccinated?
We need another one. I'll get another one if that's what it takes. But fucking let me have it now then.
I think they're just going to keep on pushing it off and putting it back down the line and back down. Like, they want 100% jab.
Yes.
So they said 70%. That's not good enough. They're going to stop at maybe 80. No. Then they'll want 90. And then they'll go, well, look, there's only 10% of you bastards left. Better get along and get into line. Otherwise, shield facilities have been built all over the country in every state to shield the vaccinated people from the unvaccinated. So we're talking concentration camps are popping up all over the country.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that is what is happening.
And what about the paperwork to go and get into anywhere after this? Even, I mean, I understand that you've been vaccinated, but do you think it's fair that even after you've been vaccinated, you're going to have to show a bit of paper just to go and get your groceries?
Oh, that's all right, I don't mind. I've got it on my phone. I'm taking screenshots of it, so if they hassle me here, here's my pass, here's my fucking thing. I've got everything you need. I've had the needles, I just should be able to cross the border.
So your feeling is you were as compliant as they could possibly have wanted you to be because you wanted to get it over and done with?
Yes,
and they've just treated you like crap.
Yes, exactly. And that's just going to keep happening no matter what happens.
Well, sir, I hope you can get home to your family soon without getting arrested.
Oh, well, just play dodgems.
Shouldn't have to do that,
I
mate.
know.
This was a free country.
Was it?
Well, it started as a prison colony to begin with, and I honestly think we're getting
back to it.
Right back to it.
Yes.
That's why I do this, mate.
You go, do what you got to do. I'm 100% behind you. There's another rally going on today again. Every Sunday it's supposed to be.
Whereabouts?
It's 20s. Same as last weekend. That's why they got all these extra.
Yeah, extra 1,000 bloody soldiers to run around the
But
town.
there's no soldiers here. Where are they?
No.
I thought they were going to be along the border here, blocking all this shit, but it's not. You can still walk through.
Yeah. Oh no, all this here is about subjugation and control. If they actually wanted to do anything about it and wanted this to be controlled,
Yeah.
this would be manned all the time.
Yes, I know.
All of these people over here at the moment are in breach of they're not really in breach of health regulations because They've been falsely handed down. But according to the government, none of them are social distancing. Half of them aren't wearing masks. They're all contacting each other across the border. If this was about stopping a virus from going across the border, there would be no physical contact across that border.
Yeah.
All this is about is control.
It's like each state's playing against each other. Who's got the most control of their state?
Well, ScoMo could have the most control of it. All he'd have to do is end the funding to the states and then they'd all pull into line. Thing is, then he'd have to take a little bit of the blame for what's going on. So I think he's better off standing back in his head and letting it happen.
You have a lovely
Thank you very
day,
much for your
man.
time, sir.
No worries.